Hi there. Today we're going to read a story called Flashy Flamingos. Now, this story is nonfiction, which means it's a real story. So it has information in it and it has facts about flamingos. I want you to look at the picture. Does the picture look like it was drawn by someone? No, it looks like it was a picture that was taken or a photo. So remember, nonfiction means that it is real life information. This one is called Flashy Flamingos. Let's read. Now the next page is the table of contents. And remember, the table of contents tells us things that will be in the book, and it gives us a page number for where we can find it. So look at the top. It says 1, an interesting bird. So I know that I can find out about an interesting bird on page 1. On page 2, it says, where in the world? So I may look at that heading and I would say, where in the world are flashy flamingos? Let me go to page 2 and find out. Again, page 3 talks about young flamingos. Page 4 talks about the gang's all here. Page 5 talks about what's for dinner. Page 6 said, did you know? And then page 7 has something interesting. It's a glossary. So whenever we want to find out where something is in a story, we can look at the table of contents to try to figure out where could we find it. So if I wanted to know all about young flamingos, I may go to page 3 because it says 3 young flamingos. So that's where I'm going to look to find out all about young flamingos. Let's keep reading. Page 1, an interesting bird. The flamingo is a wading bird. It has a long neck and long legs. It is known for its bright pink feathers and the way it stands on one leg in the winter. His webbed feet allow him to balance well in the muddy waters. In the wild, flamingos live between 20 and 30 years. When they live in captivity, they can live for up to 50 years. Wow! So I want you to notice something interesting about this page. The word captivity looks a little bit blacker, and it also is slanted. This word is a word that we can find the meaning of in the glossary. Keep that in mind and keep your eyes out for more words like that. Where in the world? There are 6 different kinds of flamingos. The greater flamingo can be found in Africa, parts of Europe, and Asia. The lesser flamingo lives in Africa and Asia. The American flamingo is easy to find on the islands of Cuba, Aruba, and the Bahamas. When flamingos are found in the wild, it is in areas of large, shallow lakes, lagoons, mangrove swamps, and sandy islands. Most of the time, if flamingos are seen in the United States, it is in captivity. Young flamingos. Flamingo chicks will grow in their eggs for about a month. Their parents will take turns incubating them by sitting on them. Chicks that have just hatched will have white or gray feathers and swollen pink legs. Mother flamingos are one of the only 3 birds that produce milk to feed their young. After about 7 days, chicks may adventure out of their nests, but they stay with other groups of chicks. This group is called a creech. After about 11 weeks, chicks will begin to grow their flight feathers, but they will begin swimming even earlier than that. Now look at these words. I see the word incubating looks a little bit thicker and a little bit slanted, and the word produce. These are also words that we may not know the meaning of right now, but we can look them up in the glossary at the end of the story. Keep your eye out for more of these words. Gang's all here. Flamingos are very social birds and will sometimes gather in groups of 1,000 or more. These groups are oftentimes called flocks. The flock is a way to protect themselves from predators. It also helps flamingos find the best food. Within these very large groups, they will break into smaller groups called colonies. The smaller groups are meant for finding mates. The smaller groups sometimes have a dance where they stretch their necks and shake their feathers at the same time. How funny! What's for dinner? The flamingo has an interesting way of eating. He will suck in muddy water to his beak. He will then push the water and dirt back out of the side of his beak. He's able to capture the food this way. Some flamingos like to eat small plants, while other flamingos eat small shrimp and insects. It all depends on the shape of his beak and what he can hold in the beak the best. The color of a flamingo's feathers completely depends on his diet. The foods that many flamingos like the most are rich in something called carotenoids. This plant pigment is also found in carrots. If you only ate carrots, your skin would turn orange too. How crazy. Did you know? When you see the flamingo bending its knee, that is actually the flamingo's ankle. When a flamingo stands with one leg pulled up behind him or her, this is thought to conserve body heat. The flamingo is the national bird of the Bahamas. The greater flamingo grows to about 5 feet tall and only weighs 8 pounds. Now here is the glossary. Look how the glossary is set up. We have all the words that were thick and they were slanted, and these words are now on this page called the glossary. Look, here's the word captivity. It says captivity, a term to describe keeping wild animals in a closed area. And it says page 1. Conserve means to protect, page 6. A diet is the kinds of foods an animal eats, and that's on page 5. Incubating means sitting on eggs to keep them warm, and that's on page 3. And produce means to make on page 3 as well. You can use a glossary to help you find the meaning of those words as you read. A glossary is a great tool in nonfiction books. Feel free to read this book again.